Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be changing the valve cover gasket, which is under here on the Kia. First thing we got to do is take off the beauty cover and yank it off. Get it off. Yeah, okay. We have the beauty cover there. Take this piece off since it's broken. And there we go. And we have to take off these 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts for the injector coils, and we will be changing the injector coils today. There's the gasket, and I have to put in new bolts for the injector coils. So we're going to be doing that right now. Remove these bolts. Look how much oil is on these things. And we're gonna do the same thing for the number 3, 2, and 1 injector.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, the injector coils are out. Down there, as you'll see, or maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, I don't know. There's spark plugs down there somewhere. You probably see it. Okay, and that's the thing. Now we have to take off 1, 2, 3. There's a 4th bolt somewhere. Where's the 4th? Oh, here's one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and there's like 10 more around here. They're all 10 millimeters all around the thing. And we also have to remove this hose, which is over here on this side. Then we have to remove this hose. All right, let's do that now. All right. As you can see, these things are pretty nasty. They have oil all over the place, and what we're going to do is we're going to place them all in this pan along with the valve cover gasket itself to clean them off with brake fluid after we're done. So we'll take off all the rest.
A few moments later.
Okay, all the stupid dirty bolts are out, and the only thing we have to do now, everything is disconnected. The hoses are disconnected. See, there's a hose here, there's a hose here that's disconnected. There was another bolt here that I forgot to show you and tell you about. It was right there. That's the 4th bolt. And all I have to do now is disconnect this thing and lodge it off. Be very, very careful. This thing is hard plastic, so we have to pry it off. There look like there may be a spot over here to pry it off with. So let's try to pry it off. Be very, 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 very careful. You don't want to damage the head when you're doing this. Just give it a little twist like that. Stick it on there, just give it a little twist, and you heard it pop, and it should be free. All right, put that down, and let's see if we can get this off now. I'm gonna have to do a little more prying and twisting. Well, I have to get my bar out, and then we'll see if we can get it out.
12 seconds later.
Okay, now you see that the valve cover is off. You see all the grease and grime. That's the timing chain right there. It's a good thing this thing has a timing chain. And all around here where the gaskets were at, right here where the gasket was at, here, we have to clean that all off. And these ports here, where you see the oil around these gaskets, we have to clean those off. And if you look at the gasket itself, you will see a pinch here. And cylinders between number 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, or whatever. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'd be between 2 and 3. There was a pinch in the gasket right there, which was well, it wasn't a pinch, it was broken. And it's hard. So that is the source of all our leaks. There's another source right here. It's going to break. So we're going to take this one off, put the new one on, and see how that goes. Look at that. And we'll clean all that off, and we shall return. We're going to clean this whole thing off with, look how dirty and grimy, greasy and grimy that is. Clean that off with some brake fluid. And we can clean this off. We get a green pad right there. Put some brake fluid on the green pad, some brake cleaning, and clean it off. All right. Hopefully I butchered that enough for you. Ooh, look at all that grease and grime right here. Right here, look at that. Ugh. Anyway, there you go. Step 15 is complete. I guess I don't know what step I'm on. Who cares what step I'm on? The reason why it's called a dual overhead cam because this is a camshaft and this is a camshaft, and these two camshafts are dual. 1, 2 camshafts on the 2 timing chains there, and that's why it's called a dual overhead cam, because the cams are over the piston, and there's 2 of them. Dual overhead cam. Very easy. That's how they come up with these names. Pretty crazy. All right. Some video progress. We're halfway done with the job. We still have to do a little bit of light sanding. As you can see, there's the dirty part and there's the clean part. And here's the dirty part halfway through. I mean, the dirty part here and the clean part here. We're halfway through. And we'll just keep going all the way around until that entire gasket surface is clean. Where's the... Okay, there it is. Until the entire gasket surface is clean, and as clean as possible and as smooth as possible, so you can have a great gasket seating.
Eventually.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the head is all clean. I mean, not the head, the head is all clean. The gasket valve cover is almost ready to be seated. There's little spots around here where I couldn't get as much, but the gasket's not going to seat on those places, so it should be fine. And we'll just make sure we have no loose dirt, and then we'll move on to the dirty, dirty, dirty valve cover. The evil dirty valve cover. Now it's time to clean that.
1 hour later.
Okay, the valve cover is all clean, inside and out. And now we're going to get ready to install the gasket. Here's the new gasket right here. We will install this bad boy. How this goes on. All right. And we will start installing it right now. Make sure everything is clean in here. Make sure everything is nice. Make sure the gasket fits. And we'll just feed this all the way around until I'm done. And there you have it. It's all on. And we're going to take a little oil and go around the base here, just like an oil filter. At least that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I don't know if that's recommended or not. I don't care. That's what I'm going to do. Just to get this little white stuff off here and get a little oil. So I take my little dirty oil rag and get a little oil on my fingers and wipe off this white stuff. There you go. All right, this gasket is all lubed up a little bit here, as you can see. And now, there's 2 joints here. There's one joint where the timing chain meets the head. Here you want to put a little silicone gasket like that. Right on that joint, right there. And the same thing for this side. Right there. Right on that joint, right there. As you can see, there was some there before. I cleaned it off. Now there's some there now. And now we put the gasket on the head.
2 hours later.
All right, valve cover has been replaced. Now what I have to do is put in all of these bolts. First thing you want to do is put in all the bolts and where they go. Don't tighten them or anything, but put them in where they go. And then you tighten them up in later, and I will show you the diagram for that. But right now we're just going to put them in all where they go. Okay, now the screws are all in. As you can see, they're not even touching they're just in. Now we're going to torque them all down according to manufacturer specimen torques, as you can see here in this diagram, which I stole from another YouTuber. Link will be in the description. Okay, now that the bolts are all tight, the way they're supposed to be, the first time to 4 foot-pounds or whatever that is. Now we're going to torque it to 7 foot-pounds in the same sequential order that we did before. Starting with this one here, number 1. Okay, now that this is all torqued down and ready to go, I'm going to replace this PCV valve in a couple of days. So we're going to be putting these hoses back together. So let's put the hoses back together. First, this hose here. Put it back together like that. And make sure you get your clamps and clap it back in. Into place. Yeah, kind of hard doing this with one hand. Trying to get as far away as possible so you can see it. I'm actually looking at that clamp and not the camera. Ah. Tighten this hose back up. Oh, here we go. Okay, tighten this hose back up. Alrighty, and now we're going to get our initial coils, our new initial coils, and put these in the slots here where the you see down there? Spark plug. Where the spark plug goes. Okay, we'll take the initial coil out of the box like so. Yep. Take the initial coil out of the box like so. Drop it into an ignition slot like so. Wiggle it, well, put it in right. There you go. Wiggle it around so it'll get into the spark plug right there. And do the same for all of them. Now, each of these new ignition plugs will be getting a brand new bolt, so I'm going to put brand new bolts into each of these. Alright, these brand new bolts that I'm replacing these with are not 9 millimeters, I mean not 10 millimeters, they're 8 millimeters. So the next guy who replaces this is going to have fun. But they're the same size, but the head is different. 8 millimeter heads. Anyway, those are all in, and now we're going to put the whatever this thing is called. Look at that, ooh, whatever that thing is called, and then we're going to put in some bolts here and there, which we're going to put in some bolts here and there, which wasn't there when I installed these. So I'm going to take the old bolts, I put up the injectors, and I'm going to put them in those two holes right there, which are 10 millimeters, and then we'll reconnect the these things here, the ignition coils. Ta-da! All right, there we go. Now it doesn't have to be super duper tight, but good enough. And now let's put make sure you hear that snap. Let's try that again so you can hear the snap, snap. There you go, and force that back in. Push this pin back in. It's just not going in. All right, do it again. Now push this pin in. Yeah, didn't go in. What about this one? Are you gonna go in? Okay. Okay, that one went in. Oh, there. Didn't push that one in far enough, that's all. Let's take this one back out and push it in and make sure it goes in. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And now that's all set. Now, we get some zip ties and tie this line back up to here and here.
A few inches later.
All right, we zip tied that back in. The wind is blowing. Blowing away my dirty rag, my dirty pan. And we zip tied that back in. We put the ignition coils in. We reconnected the hose on. Then as left as the beauty cover, and then we will take all this junk off the engine and start her up and see what happens.